Hey there, a little bit of a longer intro here. This video and going forward are going to be slightly different than the first one. After some review, I realized my audio was completely destroyed and very annoying to listen to, and I didn't want to put you through the same torture. This series format was originally intended to be a longer version of our day-to-day activities with our audio in place. However, I've decided to switch it to a voiceover format with some audio still intact while I give you the recap on our days through this challenge. I originally intended for this series to be over 20 videos long. I then bounced around the idea of a movie and finally landing on a month-to-month format instead. This video will be a part 2 continuation from the first video covering the month of spring. The 3 following videos will be covering 1 month each, beginning with summer, then fall, and finally ending with winter. I apologize if this format is weird or not optimal for viewing. This is largely due to my audio being distorted. If the series does well and people like it, then we are not opposed to doing another challenge with our audio being considered first and foremost. Okay, long rant over with, let's get back to the video. And as always, thank you for watching and we hope you enjoyed the videos. On day 7, Elle spent most of her time fishing and just trying to get to level 5. And 10 fish later, she actually managed to get it. While I was fishing, I spent most of my time in the mines just trying to get to level 5. I was also attempting to survive the onslaught of slimes, and they are so fast, I can never just seem to avoid them. After all was said and done, we called it a night and decided to clean up around the farm for a little bit and chop some trees down. On day 8, I got cornered by Clint, found out someone's been spying on me in the mines, and they want me to kill 10 slimes. I also watered my crops, gave Linus his gift and his weekly hello. I then briskly walked to the mines, searched for the elusive copper I can never seem to find, barely fended off the enemy slime invasion, and found my first Gunther item, but Elle had already turned it in, so it was pretty much useless. And then I ended my day with some light Junimo reading. I'm sure some old guy in a tower whom I've never met before is gonna help me with this. On day 8, Elle was the productive one and made some money. She had enough to buy her fiberglass rod. We then spent the rest of the evening cleaning up the farm, crafting furnaces, placing those furnaces, and smelting ores for future sprinklers we'd be needing for strawberry season and pumpkin season. Day 9 started with me receiving a letter from an old man in a tower who I've never met before to help me read Junimo. I mean, with a rat problem? Yeah, I don't think we're looking at the same thing, Chief. Day 9 consisted of watering crops, talking to Linus and giving him his gift, finishing the slime quest, reaching level 10 in the mines, and spamming the mines for copper. Elle was the more productive one out of the 2 of us. She wound up donating to the bundles, and she even completed a bundle. She also did some foraging later on that day. But me being me, I forgot the time and had to race the clock home, but I ran out of time and fell victim to the sleep. Thankfully, I leveled up the night before, so I woke up feeling refreshed. I realized I had gotten robbed, smelted some more, and then watered my crops. Then I talked to Linus, realized I had already given him 2 gifts, and decided to leave. We were gonna grind the mines for the day, but then someone ran into a resource management issue.
I ate all my food already.
Thankfully, we managed to reach level 30 before ending the day. Day 11, the spirits were in good humor, so we decided to run the mines again. I then watered my crops. I cannot wait to get sprinklers.
Yeah, I know there's a mummy following me, but I can't see him.
Elle discovered we were in the dark part of the mines today. No glow rings meant we were gonna have to speedrun this part of the mines. We managed to make it to level 40 and the iron area. Look, it's a slingshot. I can't wait to use this.
Look at you.
And then we finish off the night with smelting some ores for the future sprinklers. Day 12 was potato day, and after we rounded up our little spuds, we made our way over to Pierre's to take all the money from his piggy bank. Except it was 8:30 a.m. and he was closed. So I stood in front of his shop for an uncomfortably long amount of time. Finally, we were able to sell our potatoes for strawberry money. Afterwards, I spammed the mines for the rest of the day for some iron. Elle's day was more productive, and she initially ran to the community center to donate bundles such as the exotic foraging bundle, spring crops bundle, lake fish bundle, ocean fish bundle, crab pot bundle, and night fishing bundle. After all of her donations, she relaxed for the rest of the day with some fishing. And finally, level 2 farming and sprinkler recipe. Day 13, which means Easter egg festival, which also means strawberries. But first, we gotta go do our daily chores. Mom gave us 500 gold because we're a broke college student, smelted some iron for sprinklers, and Elle picked out the bats to help with the community center items. I then went ahead and built 11 sprinklers, then prepped my area for my new strawberries, and Elle also did the same for her area with some better fertilizer as well. I then tried to buy as many strawberries as I possibly could from Pierre, and Elle bought actually more than I did.
I bought 90.
I then used the festival to talk to all the townspeople for my quest because I'm lazy like that. At this time, Elle and I then engaged in our time-honored tradition for hunting down eggs to earn the most prized possession, and she somehow almost beats me every single time. And every year I managed to come out with a tie. We then ended our day with planting strawberries and water them by hand since sprinklers don't work till the next day. It was at this point when I realized it was getting very late, and I also realized I was out of energy with only a few crops left to water. After wasting some time getting water from the pond, I only had 10 minutes left to get the last crops and head to bed to be able to make it in time. And with only a little time left to spare, I somehow managed to make it too. On to the next day. Day 14, finally, no more watering crops. I decided to take my geode collection and head over to Clint's to crack them open. But first, I made a stop at Gunther's to drop off some extra stuff I had lying around in my inventory. After a couple of donations, I realized I didn't have enough space in my inventory, so I went back to the farm and sold off a couple of the duplicate items I have for some extra money. Afterwards, I went back over to Clint's, opened up a couple of geodes, filled up my entire inventory, and made the single largest donation to the museum we had done so far. And with enough money, I could buy a fiberglass rod. I then made my way to the trader to look for the elusive red cabbage, the one thing she never seems to have, but I did find a poppy flower. Elle, being the boss she is, managed to catch a wood skip in the secret forest. She then donated a couple extra items to the community center. Day 15 was pretty boring. We mostly spent it foraging and fishing. Elle did donate to the bundles, and she managed to catch a dino egg. We spent the rest of the night smelting ores, chopping down trees, and setting up sprinklers for the next day. Day 16, I woke up a bit confused. I grabbed my iron bar, and I took the scenic route to the mines, where I then mined for some iron. Elle spent her day giving gifts and forcing her friendship onto people. She grabbed a late breakfast, and fished in the river for a sunfish that we needed for the community center. She then took one of those fish and donated it to the bundle. Later on in the evening, I'd be outside smelting some of my iron for bars and forget what time it was and fall victim to the sleep. Day 17 was a rainy day and I realized I had been robbed yet again. I used this rainy day to take a lot of my geodes and head over to Clint's. Elle used this day to make a run of the mines for her iron to be able to build her sprinklers. She also made it to level 50.
Go, I got it!
I busted open some geodes with Clint. I then headed over to Gunther's to donate these items. This was good because it put us at 27 out of 60 items we needed. Afterwards, I made a trip over to the river because it was a rainy day in spring and we needed a catfish. After multiple failed attempts, and I mean multiple, I finally managed to get my hands on one of these little guys. I then quickly walked to the community center to donate the fish to a bundle and a cave carrot I had found the day prior as well. I then spent the rest of my night on a bridge fishing. We also found this glitch. It's something we usually run into every couple of playthroughs, and it's when the cat doesn't let Elle walk through the door and she passes out due to the time. Luckily, however, we realized something that night.
I leveled up. I got the tapper recipe!
Elle thankfully had leveled up the night before, so she wasn't out of energy for day 18. And on this day, I made 13 new sprinklers, placed them down in a meaningful pattern. I then went and bought 48 new parsnips, and I went and planted them with quality growth so I could get gold parsnips. And we needed at least 5 of these for the community center bundle in the next 4 to 6 days. While I did this, Elle went and finished the spring crops bundle, the geologist bundle, and completed the blacksmith bundle. Day 19 was a pretty boring and uneventful day. I collected some of the fruits and berries from the bats that we needed for the community center. Afterwards, I went and took the scenic route to go donate those items to some bundles. While I was doing this, Elle went to Robin's to get her silo, but she forgot to do something very important beforehand.
I did not clear a space for my silo before. There's a clear spot in the trees back there.
She then spent the rest of her day fishing off a bridge. I didn't really have a goal in mind for when I was doing the mines this day, but I was aiming to try to get some iron, go down as far as I could in the mines, and also try to get a ghost fish. I also forgot to check the time and didn't realize how late it was, but I wanted to go and donate to the bundles. I managed to complete the Adventurers bundle at 1 AM and I got caught in a Junimo cutscene, which forced me to leave at 1:50 AM and get caught by the sleep. Like, why can't you skip these? Day 20 was a rainy day. I realized I was robbed again. Then I put down a single sprinkler with some quality grow and a single coffee bean. This would be a good future investment for money and to be able to run on the map faster when we would be on a time crunch for tasks as we get closer to the end of the year, and for a little extra money at no effort. During day 20, Elle cleared out the top left corner of the farm to make space for her future chicken coop and our barn. She also donated some items to the museum, while I donated 2 items to the bundles, and purchased the backpack for the first time.
You haven't done the backpack the last couple runs.
I fished for and managed to catch a shad, and then donated it to the bundle. We both then spent a little time fishing off of different locations and bridges, and then spent the rest of our night kind of cleaning up the farm and just chopping down some trees. Day 21 was a very special day.
Strawberries!
That's right, today was Strawberry Day, and this day would be the tipping point in our financial stability into pumpkin season. Although they didn't sell for a lot of money, they make up most of their value on resale in multiple days. After making some money at Pierre's, I spent the rest of my day in the mines grinding out some iron to be able to make future quality sprinklers. After I spent most of my time in the mines, we decided to swap midway so she could get some time in there too. And during her time in the mines, I decided to smelt some ores and be a little productive on my end. Later that evening, I realized I had made a mistake a few days prior and sold a chub that we needed for the community center, so I attempted to catch a new one. However, I failed at this endeavor multiple times. While I was fishing for that chub, Elle spent the remainder of her night just stacking some hay in her silo. Day 22 was parsnip day, and we needed those badly, so I started out by grabbing some iron. I then started to pick my parsnips, and we got super lucky and managed to get over 10 gold star parsnips. I then took those same parsnips and went and donated them to the community center, and then I went and bought 48 more new parsnips. Afterwards, I then planted these parsnips because there were only 6 days left in the season, and these only take 4 days to mature. And yes, I know they aren't worth much money, but it's better than nothing at all. I then spent the remainder of my day in the mines running for copper. At the same time, Elle managed to purchase her chicken coop from Robin. Afterwards, she then spent the rest of her day stacking hay for her future animals. And finally, I wrapped up my day with a little bit of some smelting. So what about days 23 through 28 though? They were very boring and repetitive. We each ran the mines alternating every other day, and while one person was in the mines, the other would be smelting ores into bars, looking for the elusive red cabbage from the trader, or cleaning up around the farm. Because of this repetitiveness, I'm going to condense these days into one quick rapid fire sequence to wrap up our time at the end of the month. And it might look a little confusing, but I'll have the dates in the top left corner to kind of help keep you on track. Day 23 was my day for the mines, and I spent it looking for copper and iron while Elle spent her day fishing and smelting ores. Day 24 was the exact same thing, except we flipped whose turn it was in the mines. Days 25 and 26 were the exact same thing as days 23 and 24, except on the 25th we got strawberries and I finished the last donation for the crab pot bundle. Day 27 was a slow one, but we managed to donate to some bundles. I also spent the evening of the 27th laying out the foundation for my pumpkin farm. It was very boring, a lot of math, and placing things exactly where they needed to go. On day 28, I received my copper watering pail and donated our remaining items to the museum, giving us a total of 36 out of 60 Gunther items in our first season. Later, Elle purchased her first animal and we hit a wall trying to name it. We ultimately landed on the perfect name for our first chicken. And after all of that in that one day, we spent the remainder of our last night on the last day of the month burning as much energy as we possibly could, cleaning up the farm and making space for our future pumpkin kingdom. And that was how we spent our entire first month in this challenge. It was full of ups and downs, but it was a lot of fun. And thank you for sticking around to experience it with us. I have the next 3 months coming soon after this one, so keep your eyes out for them. And if you enjoyed this video, then go ahead and take a look around the channel for some other ones. And as always, we thank you for watching the video and we hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe and we'll see you in the next one.